Thank you for taking care of us on the journey that brought us here. In May of 2024, we took an all-Indigenous group of students from North Island College and Nova Scotia Community College to Waikato University in New Zealand. We called it an epic journey before we left when we invited them to join us. And we had no idea just how epic it would be, and changing their lives and having them experience Indigenous education at its finest among the Maori people of New Zealand. It really did transform our students. It transformed them at a soul level, really, and helped them to witness the possibilities in education when education institutions truly become Indigenous serving.
We immersed ourselves in their culture, but we made sure we followed our traditions as well. We introduced ourselves to their lands. And we also, in my language, we went down and did a spiritual bath. I loved how our delegation went in and learned right along how to do a haka.
I'll say it's life-changing. I came back, I think, a little bit different person. Made my first, can't say it's a carving, but it's a mask, some painting on it. I did some cedar work. I got back. I was able to make a couple of roses with my cousin that came up to do a course. I think that's just the beginning of my journey.
It was so important and powerful that we had the different nations we had in our group, as well as the East Coast Indigenous, and to be able to tell them that I see their struggle and get to learn about their culture, because I didn't know anything about it. That was powerful. I learned so much, and a lot of the things I learned I had read about before, but by going there, living and experiencing it, actually changed some values of mine, some ideas of mine, completely altered me.
One of my favorite parts of the trip was going to the daycare and getting to meet all the Maori children, and just seeing it is really incredible. You can't describe the feeling. I really enjoyed learning another Indigenous culture while also representing my own and learning about the other Indigenous people from Nova Scotia.
Seeing everyone so proud and confident in their Indigenous heritage is something that I aspire the people here to be like. I think immersing kids at a young age can help create that, which is why seeing the children and youth so involved in their culture, that's why I decided to create a children's book and cooperative for this project.
It was a tough trip, but it was a worthwhile trip and an educational trip. Witnessing what happened with the Maori people is so parallel to what happened to our people and how they're able to have immersion with their kids.
I feel as though I have found my voice, and I'm forever grateful for the strength and power this journey has brought to me. We are now more well equipped to push through and revitalize not only our languages, but to revitalize what it means to be an Indigenous person the world over. This trip has taught me that our ancestors live on through us, and it is our job to instill in our future generations the importance of our cultural identity.
The community and the relationships and the family we built on this trip has been so amazing. In 2 weeks, such a short time, we're all so close now. I'm gonna find who I am and what I want to be in. That I want to do more language, incorporate language into my life, and figure out, do I have a name? I think I have a name. It's out there somewhere. So now I feel like I can find my identity.
I do believe that we all were meant to be there. We all connected and we all had similar struggles within our own communities.
One thing that really stood out as well was how they said, don't wait for somebody else to do something. Don't wait for somebody else to put on a language class or a culture class. You don't have to know everything to do something like that. Just getting people together to work on it is all you really need. That's not something I'm usually great with, is taking that initiative, but I think that's something I start wanting to work towards.
The most powerful part was going to the daycare or preschool, I think it was, and hearing kids speak Maori. They're playing in Maori. They're not learning Maori. They're playing in Maori. They're learning Maori. Their whole education system is in Maori. And I've never seen our youth completely play in Kwakwala.
Mm-hmm. At one time, they were also punished for speaking their language, which touched close to home.
Yeah.
I just assumed we were the only ones that got our language and cultures beaten out of us, learning that the Maori were the same.
we build our new administration building, and when I'm successful at building a new school, I want to have seats like this in a sea serpent all over the place and use our artwork and show it.
So I appreciate these programs, and I think they're absolutely needed because it was soul breaking, but in a good way. And I love you all.
The changes that need to be made now is a full integration. All schools and public spaces must fully reflect the diverse beauty of cultures and languages that exist on our coast.
Proud to be Baku, and I want to learn a lot more of our culture and our language and our songs, and just be the best Baku I can be.
Without the funding, Indigenous people wouldn't have this opportunity. Our kids need to experience this younger, because if I had experienced this younger, I'm going to do as much as I can as an older person. But as youth, it would just expand their mind, their world, their strength.
Our Maori family challenged you before we left New Zealand, and we challenge you now. We challenge you to pay it forward for the next 7 generations. What reconciliations are you going to take forward and pay it forward for your children, your grandchildren, and those yet to be born? Tela Kesla.